What up, guys? So I was actually kind of funny. It's kind of funny. I was recording a video, um, pretty much on how to slightly get a better private way of getting a Google Play account, so you can do Google Play services on Graphene OS. And then as I was doing a write up earlier on my blog, and I was doing this. It's kind of interesting. So like the last time I was live, I went out of my way to show that, like, hey, there's not really always a verification method, and it's kind of like very difficult now. It used to be like, oh, just ask for a number, and it would be essentially pretty solid. Fast forward today, like as of 20 minutes ago, because I've done different I've done like different methods to kind of like achieve this, and it's not really concrete. It's not really like the same experience, because Google might be like, oh, this doesn't look like a threat, XYZ. So I'm assuming, if I'm going to wait for the 3 confirmations, cool. So I'm assuming it's kind of easy to get to this, as long as you have the right tools, and maybe you can't do it via Tor, but maybe you can do it kind of like in another fashion. I'm still going to do the video. I have to scrap it now because I kind of look goofy, and maybe I'll have to give some more insight and maybe do a little bit more testing in between. I think that it's definitely possible to now do it via Tor and not have to go the method before. So we're going to do a quick, this is called SMS Pool. They do have an Onion site. It is possible to kind of like meet them via Onion site. It is interesting. So I'm going to do a quick order and see if this works. So US, 55 cents to $1. And there is my number. It's been copied. Let's see if Google accepts it. It says it has a 60%. And look at that. It sends a code. This seems like a very good service. I had kind of like a bad experience with them, and at least accepted it. Yeah, and it gave me the code. Okay, so it looks like this will be possible. Skip recovery email address, and then obviously I made a fake Gmail account. Not really worried. I'll probably let's see if we can. Don't save YouTube history. And there we go. Now, this is kind of a private way to get a Gmail account. You could get a SMS pool. The balance is like irrelevant to me because it's a couple bucks. They do use a third-party service in order to achieve this, so it is kind of interesting. Bitwarden and self-hosting deployment guide thing is very confusing. Definitely won't be doing that. You shouldn't really do that, to be honest. It's not a security feature. It's hosting yourself. You have to actually enforce SSL for it to work. There is a workaround with it when you use the web. There's like something called Rocket. I think they use the Rocket framework or something like that. I believe, and it actually makes it very somewhat insecure, because even though it's local, it makes it somewhat insecure because you have to, for its HTTPS, do something with crypto, like the way the cryptography works in the browser. If I'm not mistaken. There is Vault Warden. It's much easier. You can deploy it in a Docker. It's less resources. But the problem is you are now just taking all the security element out of it, and you're putting it on a server. Your better option is to use KeePass XC if you really want to. I've kind of went back and forth with the idea of going to Passbolt. Passbolt also requires SSL, and it requires an NTP server, especially if you're using it for any times of syncing, any type of syncing or codes. Two-factor authentication codes. There is a problem with that too. So you would want to run your own NTP server as well, and make sure you don't have self-signed certificates. You have a local certificate essentially applied to it. That would be the better option. So it seems like there is a way to get a Google account. This is in a virtual machine. It looks like I'm not really having the issue that I thought it was. I might take this and dump it or something like that, or give it to somebody if they want it. I'm not going to ever really use it, to be completely honest. But it seems like Google is possible to get a relatively anonymous account via the web browser. I'm going to try this on some different public Wi-Fi's to see if I can achieve the same results, and then I'll write up my blog post on it and finish the video. It is just kind of interesting to see how Google treats everything somewhat different. This is kind of null and void. We're just going to delete this, really, to be completely honest. Not too worried about it. But yeah, Bitwarden's self-hosting guide is kind of goofy. I don't even remember that email. I'll figure it out later. But it'll just be an email, just kind of like sitting there in the dark. Not surprised. Maybe I could figure out a way to, like I said, for people that want to further themselves from like Google accounts, I could find a way to get them people Google accounts like really inexpensive, really inexpensively, to be honest. But SMS Pool is kind of cool. It works relatively well. I did have a bad experience with it. It's not really bad anymore. I'll just do. KeepAsXE has a Gen 2 package, but the install command of their website uses sudo yuck. Just switch to do as. Oh yeah. It is a good password manager. I think people should just use it whatever they see fit. Parapass looks cool. I just don't like the way who it's owned by. I'm gonna have to do some more research on it. Turn, right? Tech XF. Oh, come on. KeepAsXE depends on fucking Qt. Qt is garbage and it takes too much time to compile. I use KeepAss. Is it XC or XD? I use KeepAss XC. Yeah. And there we go. Qt. I didn't know Qt. What's Qt? I've never understood the Qt hate. Are you saying someone is a QT? I started to become too much schizoid for me. I have to get away from the internet for a while. I don't feel okay. Privacy burnout on the edge. Yeah, of course. Hola, comrades. What up? Yeah, you should never do any burnout. Oh, there's a version that doesn't depend on Qt. Qt is a GUI framework in C++ and is used in KDE and their apps. LTQT, Feather Wallet, KeepSXE, is notorious for taking up lots of RAM at the time to compile, despite not seeing it much. And of course, Qt is used much more than just that, but just examples. Oh, okay, based. What up, Jay? So yeah, my general advice for people to, if they want to get a distant Google account, is to just, unfortunately, do it through the ClearNet on some form of public Wi-Fi on a computer, maybe like a throwaway browser or something like that. Maybe don't use a VPN. In perspective, maybe like Mullvad's browser might be the better option, but we'll do another test. We'll just at some point, I'll do some more testing at some point. It is interesting, like what Google determines sus or not. It's kind of interesting. I would even say that I2P, in perspective, if it had a way to search, because I2P is not really like Tor in the sense like where you search stuff. I2P is more of a like slight explorer, but I wonder if SMS for set. Actually, I could even add them. I'm just going to use the key pass XC Flatpak. I don't want to compile Qt. I keep encrypting USBs and forgetting the passphrase to decrypt. I should get my ISP on the. I should get at my ISP on the phone because their system wouldn't take symbol characters when changing the Wi-Fi password. That took me hours. I have been installing Tor and Podman. Containers to side with normal browsers to use with, going clinically insane finally. That would be probably bad because you're changing the screen resolution, so that is fingerprintable technically. Like me using Tor in a VM isn't probably smart because this is capturing some different form of screen resolution. It might look sus and might be somewhat fingerprinting me, and I'm using it in a virtual machine, so that could be in a sense like fingerprintable. So your better option is just to use Unix. I should on a phone and felt very nad after. Don't, but yeah, you can't let privacy burnout really hit you. It's not worth it. Flatpak based, as you should. Just remember to pair it with Bubble Jail. I'm gonna get some water. I shouted on the phone and felt very. Oh, you shouted on the phone and felt very bad after? Oh, don't feel bad. That's why you should touch grass. Touching grass is good. But we're going to read the more of the darknet market Bible. Because it's very based, very cool. They might not answer though. Man, yeah, people need to get off the internet. Can you teach? Can you teach AG Party class so we can learn to do multi-boot OS? Multi-boot OS isn't really smart in perspective because if the underlying OS, like AKA Windows, or if you're running like two different distributions that don't get updated in a timely manner, that could be a potential security risk, and it could devalue the whole scheme of your workflow. In reality, the best thing you could do, to be honest, is to get something called Ventoy and then just you run Ventoy. Ventoy allows multi distro hopping essentially, and you can run it all from a USB stick if you really care. There's a lot of Linux. The good thing about Linux is it's so light, you can actually run it relatively nice from a USB drive. And there are ways to make it persistent where it's maybe not taking advantage of your hardware to the fullest extent, but in reality it's... Code, you should definitely get some sleep and touch grass. It's okay, man. You shouldn't get too deep into the weeds. Privacy is a scale. It is not a marathon. You are going to eventually reach a level where you are going to compromise on stuff. Fun fact: sleeping will not compromise your OPSEC. Sleeping will make your OPSEC based. But Gparted is kind of, you don't really need to do too much with Gparted to do a multi-boot system. I haven't done a split boot system in a long time. Yeah, like honestly, I haven't done dual booting in a very long time. It's not only not worth it, it's kind of like one of those things that I think people that do in the beginning, that where they want to run Windows and along with Linux, because they may have like a specific reason. I don't know why you would, but it's mainly probably very gamer related or very like Adobe related most of the time. But now that we have so many emulation layers and ways to run Windows apps for some crazy reason, for people that want to hang on to Adobe's disgusting fingers, we kind of have ways to do it. There's something called WinBoat, where you can run Windows apps on your on your Linux system. Apparently, someone has figured out a way how to get Adobe to work on Linux. It's pretty based, apparently. I don't know. I don't really use Adobe or really any proprietary app. I haven't touched Windows in so long, I can't even think of something. Silver Blue is like a dual booting with my shell and the rest of the OS. So yeah, Fedora is pretty based with some aspect. I do shit on Fedora a lot, but it's got some usability, and I do like their contribution to the Flatpak ecosystem. But in reality, I also hate Fedora for a lot of reasons that I hate Debian. But if you wanted to look at a really cool project, there is something called Ventoy. Ventoy is kind of like a way to achieve the same results that you're looking for, where you can run multiple. I ran Ventoy for a very long time. I actually carried it in my bag for a long time because I'm like, oh, what if I want to use something like XYZ just out of nowhere? I'm like, what if I wanted to use Kali Linux on a machine for no reason? And I distro hopped a lot. Oh, Portmaster is still going, baby. It's cool. Portmaster is very cool. Ugh. Oh. They have an offline installers. Based. It's always cool finding really based projects. Okay. Let's go back to here. I probably just need to learn the file system more. Yeah, there is WinApps 2, but the issue with virtualization, I gave up and just moved to DaVinci. What's going on, Sam? Which is a bitch to learn in my opinion compared to Premiere Pro. Dude, Wimbo is literally a wrapper for QEMU and RDP Roman app. Oh, I thought it was like a virtualization. Cool, thanks for explaining that, Billy. I think the big problem I have is where I do install it. I will say that DaVinci is a kind of a learning curve, but I found a lot of people in Europe actually use DaVinci Resolve. It's like very normal over there, which is kind of funny, because it's a license. They have a lifetime license. I think the big problem I have is where I do install programs at. Sometimes I install the Debian package and install them, but it will try to install another program and it won't install right. With Ventoy, I think with Ventoy you have to set up like a storage system in order to achieve like the same thing. I believe it allows installations. There is a cool project I can show you. It's called Portable Apps, I believe. Portableapps.com. So you can run all these from the USB. You can put this on a USB and run all these programs on a USB. It's kind of cool. I came across this a very long time ago. It's very based. And I ran this for quite some time, actually. It allows you to run a lot of applications in a portable manner. But if you're looking for something even like more robust and private, you can do Tails OS, set up persistent storage, and that persistent storage will allow you to essentially. Can you run I2P? In general, yeah. But on this, no. No, probably not. This is supposed to be done from a USB, but if you want like a ton of apps, where like you can run XMPP, apparently. Oh wait, no, that's not XMPP. I'm retarded. I2P kind of needs a flat place to sit, because it's like more of like a service that's running. But if you want options to be able to connect to different services, like different apps where like you don't want them on your main system, this is definitely an option out there. Yo, PGP mentioned? Oh, okay. But it's pretty cool. I used it a couple times for like specific stuff when I was going through like a schizophrenic episode of running nothing but like everything from a USB. I want to get good enough for maintaining a stable workflow in Secure Blue. It's kind of hard to make it work in Secure Blue to make it like stable. The problem with that code is that Secure Blue is supposed to be locked down. Not that you can't be like efficient in it, but like having a lockdown system like that makes it kind of like the flow a little bit more difficult. We're gonna do this, this over here, this over here. But WinApps is pretty cool. WinBoat's pretty cool. There's a lot of good. Maybe they're wrappers or whatever they're called. They're kind of like nice because it allows people to like maybe like touch Linux and then find free and open source options like out there that make they're like, oh god, I don't actually need to use fucking any Adobe product ever again, which is, when I used to do a lot of photography, I used Adobe, but I also found something free and open source. But this is like when Adobe was like super like big on like you could buy the license once and own it. Then they moved to a subscription model, and I was like, well, you guys suck, and this is ludicrous, because you could go buy. Some people wouldn't even update their system because they're like, oh, I can still run Adobe with my cracked license or whatever, some crack. Adobe's not even really that great once you find other products, but I do a lot of stuff in something called Lightzone. It's not really maintained anymore, unfortunately. Gets like an update maybe every like here or there, but Lightzone is pretty based. It does like raw editing. So if you're a photographer and you want something that you shoot in RAW and you want to use something that's really easy to use, Lightzone is pretty based. I like it. I've used it for many years now. At this point, if someone handed me Adobe today, I wouldn't even know what to fucking do, because Lightzone's so efficient. I'm like, cool. I don't need to think. Kdenlive is okay. That's what I use for some of my when I do edit a tiny amount. I was using Kdenlive. I used PowerShot for a little bit. Adobe's just not. I don't know. I don't like things where I'm required to have like an account. Essentially, I'm not a real big fan of that. So we're gonna look at this. But autism kicking in. We're gonna look at some more good opsec perspective. I want people to go away. Think about their, not just their opsec, but it's gonna be different. and like where to compromise, why it's important to compromise and not have massive privacy burnout. Nitro Pro was good. Nitro Pro, what the fuck was that again? Oh, I'm not gonna get anywhere because that's Nitro Pro. Is this a boomer thing? What up with this fucking screen resolution? The fuck is this? Is this like a video editing? Nitro Pro is a portable document format editing application. Oh, okay. That's cool. That's interesting. Huh. Didn't know. The more you know. I'm going to exile that. Oops. How do I do that again? Oh. Escape. Oh, there we go. I was wondering about the screen resolution too. You can make a fake doc. Oh, okay. I thought I was just having a stroke. But I was like, oh wait, I'm in a virtual machine. This is gonna be a little funky to do my notes with, but that's okay. This is why I need a third. This is why I need a third monitor, guys, so I can do extreme hacking. So, oh, you can make a fake doc. That's kind of cool. I use, it's funny. I use speaking of docs, I use Danger Zone. It allows you to open up. You can edit the shit out of PDFs. Nice. That's pretty base. I hate using that word online now because of how people fuck the internet. A bunch of fucking Zoomers fucked up. No, come on. I just found you. Maybe? Oh, there we go. The Danger Zone is based. Also does OCR. Yeah. I didn't know it did OCR. But I know Danger Zone is super cool because it's kind of like how Graphene OS does its PDF format. So when you use the PDF file when you use the PDF file viewer in Graphene OS, it actually opens up in their web view, and their web view is sandboxed. So if there was anything that was malicious inside your system, you essentially can achieve a secure way to open up PDF files without having to worry about malware spreading it throughout your system. This is what a Danger Zone essentially does. It opens up its own virtual machine. You can use it. I didn't know you could use it via the command line either. That's kind of cool. I mainly use it when I'm in CubesOS to look at documents that are a little suspicious. Because it opens up its own disposable virtual machine in an obviously sandboxed environment, so it's obviously more secure. So even if that gets compromised, in a sense, you're pretty solid. I got Nitro Pro off the Pirate Bay, probably not a safe thing to do. Yeah, that's based. I'm glad Pirate Bay is making a comeback. We all enjoy piracy. I think it's super based and super cool and super uncool and very gay that we live in a society that is become a subscription-based society. I have no problem. I have actually no issue with some companies having the option of a subscription model where it actually meets a certain criteria to actually be worth it. But everything is now becoming a subscription model, which is fucking retarded, and I hate it, and it's really lame. And I don't understand why people even entertain the idea where everything is a subscription model. It makes sense for some things, probably from a developer standpoint, if they incorporate stuff that requires an ongoing cost and they provide such a good service that I can see the value. But half the time, this shit is just fucking companies buying licensing, or they just want to gobble up all the money. I'm just too poor to pay for everything. Yeah, I agree. or give me the option of a lifetime subscription model. I have some issues with lifetime subscription models because if the company goes under, you kind of got fucked. So unless it's like that's why I will say, who does a lifetime subscription? DaVinci Resolve does it. I know they do a lifetime subscription model. I mean, a lifetime license. Just give me the option of a license. Let me buy a license. Find what it would cost for me to own the license and still get updates, and that's it. And be realistic. Like if it's like, hey, we'll give you this license for like it's good for like, the life of the device, whatever. Make it $500. I would pay for that. Make it $1,000. I would rather have ownership over the software that I use. That's my problem. But we're really not going to head there. The only thing I want to pay for in my computer is the hardware, nothing else. Yeah, I agree, and I think you should have that option. The lifetime DaVinci is badass. Check out Intel script. FOSS is king. Yeah, free and open source is king. And there's some FOSS projects that have a subscription, like they ask for like a subscription, and I'm okay with that because I would rather hand my money to a free and open source product that actually values me and values my privacy. Like Tutanota. Tutanota is a subscription. They're not required. They have a free tier, and they're free and open source. And I'm okay with handing them money every month because I enjoy their product. My email aliasing service, I'm okay with paying them a subscription because they add me value and they constantly add stuff where I see the value. And the ongoing support of my money to them is ensuring that they're going to stick around for a long time, hopefully, because they probably have a much higher ongoing cost. So I'm okay with handing it, and they accept Monero at the end of it. The fact that they accept Monero is much better. If I ever win the lottery, I would donate to a bunch of projects. Yeah, I think there's a lot of good projects out there. What is called Intel scripts? Let's see. Intel Scripts combines industry-leading data analysis and provide insecure knowledge tools. Oh, interesting. Is this it? Why do most laptops bundle the shit Windows license with the hardware? Where I see no point in letting. So actually, this is an interesting. Back in the put some data-driven swagger into your risk assessment. I don't think this is it. Where can you get wallpapers that don't burn your eyes on GNOME 3? The darknet. Oh, here we go. Generate professional 5M scripts with AI. IntelliScripts. Our AI-powered platform revolutionizes 5M script development, making accessible everyone coding experience. Oh. It's kind of based. Is this it? Wallhaven is good. Oh, that's the one. There was a program I used to run that would change my wallpaper based on a certain subreddit, and I always did the what do you call it? Get your scripts generated in seconds, not hours. No more waiting for developers struggling with complex code. Interesting. Oh, 200 scripts per month. That's not bad. $20 a month. Is this it? No. The one for DaVinci. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Oh, IntelliScripts Earl, everything you know, DaVinci Resolved. Like, Blackmagic knows how to make a fucking camera, I'll tell you that. I don't have, I thought about getting their Pocket 4K camera for a long time. Wallhaven, yeah. Why do most laptops? So there's something interesting actually about the license. So back in the 90s, or I believe the late 80s, early 90s, there was an uprising of people. I wish I could find the video. People boycotting the fact that their PCs were bundled with a Windows license. They were like, throwing their. It had to be after like when did I think it was like the first round of licensing, like when Windows was getting like pre-installed. It was probably like the late '90s then, and they were like people like burning. Like I wish I could find this video. It's such an interesting video. You like see people like just losing their mind over the fact that they were having their PCs installed with pre-installed software. Now it's fucking normal at this point. It's kind of retarded, but new IntelliScripts voice. Oh, it does voiceovers. How do you record your voiceovers in DaVinci Resolve? Oh, nice. And enter the name for your voice. You choose your microphone built in. Track section. Choose which audio track to record. Okay, 3N gives you to pair record starts. Voiceover on the cut page. More options available. Oh. Transcribe the clip audio, match to your script, automatically plays matching. Oh, nice! It does. What's the word? What's the word? When people, this is the reason people clap before like a video. So you load your video and then Resolve transcribes it, export the text, delete what you don't want in text, import with IntelliScript, and it automatically cuts all the cuts you did. So you load your video, then Resolve transcribes it, export the text, delete what you don't want in text, import with IntelliScript, and it automatically cuts all the cuts you did. Oh, nice! That's got to be super time-saving. It's kind of based. Yeah, I've heard... I mean, to be honest, DaVinci Resolve is like a what... I mean... To be fair, like this is what giant movie makers use this shit, so it makes sense. It's very good. I know it's natively supported on Fedora. I don't know if it would work on Void Linux, unfortunately. If they do, I would like to test it in text. Everything you deleted in text, it cuts the video. It cuts in video and audio. Oh, nice. So it transcribes it. And then it exports into text, and then what you delete in text, it deletes the audio and the video so it turns it into a script, and what you delete, it cuts it for you. Wow, that's actually pretty based. So you can look for all the uhs, because I say a lot. I've looked at like videos of like how to do like public speaking and like the uhs. I do a lot, even though I know what I'm gonna say next, because I have a internal monologue that makes me super retarded, but super based at the same time. I even think about the people that don't have an inner monologue, which is kind of funny. Like, how do you not think? You just say words. Like, I'm saying words before I say them, like seconds, but like it's kind of interesting. But I do remember coming across this. I do a lot of false starts and find and replace for the win. I do a lot of false starters and find and replace for the win. Oh, nice. Yeah, I do say, I'm trying to think of other words I do too. I'm like, like, I say like a lot. I say, yeah. My two top words is like and which is kind of funny. Now that I think about it. And I think that's actually how like a lot of people just think. I guess maybe it's because I do live shit, like shit live. Well, no, I talk like this in real life. What am I saying? Interesting. So, no, you will not see this come up a few times. You ready, but you cannot set enough. Do not use Windows or OSX. Okay, so Tails and Unix. Using Unix is one of the most secure setups. The setup is very advanced. If you do not configure everything correctly, you can potentially hurt your opsec. So I kind of disagree. Text manipulation is far easier than video and audio. Oh, 100%. I would have to know DaVinci Resolve works on Void Linux before I jump into that. I mean, I could run in a virtual machine if I really wanted to, like Fedora, but that'd be very taxing on my 32 gigs of RAM. Uh, and now that RAM prices are fucking the cost of a house, guys, I can't even afford this now. Hopefully they'll get knocked down at some point. I think they will eventually. I don't think it's going to be a huge thing for a long time. I disagree. The Unix is a difficult thing to set up. I think Unix is kind of like the easiest thing to set up in general when it comes to when it actually comes to running it. It's just kind of annoying that it works more efficient in what is it? What's the Oracle VirtualBox? It's kind of lame that it works but only really in VirtualBox. You can get it to work in in Virt Manager, but I had kind of a tough time doing it, and I still haven't rebooted my system. I'm going to have to do that at some point in order to get some of those changes applied. And I would like to get CubesOS eventually in a virtual machine just for like display purposes. But I will say though, that my Nova Custom, I contacted them. They confirmed that my screen resolution, I can change it out. I shouldn't have any issues. So I purchased the 1080p screen. I'm going to attach it to my my laptop and go from there. I'm going to do it live. I'm going to show people that it's relatively easy to do. And then I'll have CubesOS back in my possession without having a fucking nightmare blunt rotation version of screen, the way the resolution works. I really wish Wayland would just get fucking pushed and working, and CubesOS would work well with a 2K display, because it'd be very nice just to have that luxury. In general, I have looked at some forums if 2K and high resolution is getting better. It kind of is, but I do run into some inconsistent issues when I'm running something like XFCE or Xorg, etc., etc. But Wayland is just far superior. All the Xorg enjoyers and X11 enjoyers are unbased, and they're just kind of like stuck in the past. They're kind of like the boomers of the they're kind of like the boomers of the internet. 9 years later, I wish Wayland worked. Yeah, the problem with Wayland is the fact that it's just a slow progress. It works for me, but the problem is in CubesOS, Wayland needs to be able to be virtualized in its own virtual machine. There is a forum thread and like people explaining how it could be done. Wayland would be very based. What they were supposed to do is they would put it in a virtual machine, and then it would handle all the displays in kind of a sick way. Like it would take and you could even theoretically at this point game, because it's isolating the GPU process. I tried the DWM Wayland fork thing. It doesn't have the bar. What do you mean it doesn't have the bar? Actually, a problem I had with Wayland, doing dual monitor, 2 monitors with Wayland is a fucking nightmare. It will always switch, like things will launch on the wrong monitor. Now in my case, stuff launches on the right monitor. It launches on the monitor out of scope of my my streaming setup. So when I want to launch stuff, I don't have to really worry about it popping on stream. Not that I'm retarded where I'm gonna put do anything that I wouldn't want public anyways. But I've never used I've never had a really bad experience besides that, and sometimes my second display wouldn't work. That was really about it. But if they could figure out how to do it on CubesOS, that'd be even more based, because then gaming there would be a secure way to do some form of gaming, because then it isolates the GPU process, so you could actually get probably better native performance. So it doesn't look like it's running at 2 frames per second, like 2 frames, or like something like absurd where it's just really like buggy. And it also would allow a more secure window management, because X11 is garbage. DWM bar at the top of the bar, little integrity virtual desktop for Windows. Oh, okay, interesting. I don't use The closest I've used to it, the window manager is just OpenBox, and I think OpenBox is like the superior one. I need to still switch to the OpenBox shell. That'd be kind of cool. Bibliogram. Is this alive? I do like finding random stuff if they're alive or not on I2P because it's kind of cool. Dark Directory. Let's see that. That looks based. And then, how long has this been running? 8 days, baby. All the bandwidth. I've only used transfer 2 gigs. I needed to up my. Remember, when you run I2P, the best thing you can do is give as much bandwidth as you can, so your ISP can cry and also grovel at the fact that you're using terabytes a month. I remember when I was torrenting a lot and running a PeerTube server, I was using somewhere in the ballpark range of 5 to 6 terabytes of bandwidth every month, and I hope that my ISP suffers and cries because they're a bitch at the end of the day. When you do torrent, make sure that you seed, because seeds are based. Seeding is based, leeching is bad, and be super based and give bandwidth to the people so that they can also download their favorite Linux ISOs from the internet. Obviously, piracy is wrong and bad, and you should never do it. Sony is always in the right, and they are not the villain. You're unwelcomed here. Fuck off. That's kind of funny. That's why I love I2P. I eventually will get my blog mirrored on Tor. I finally got a Tor version of my blog, kind of working. It's very blank right now. I got to copy everything over, and I will have a mirrored version, which will be kind of sick. So for the people that want to visit it via Tor, and then eventually, once I figure it out, I will eventually throw it on I2P. That'd be kind of sick as well. Ghost is cool, a cool platform. I just wish they had a native way to launch it to Tor, to be completely honest. But good news is mine works with no JavaScript. Later, Billy. Appreciate you stopping by, as always. New cryptanalysis of end-user cryptography. Oh, okay. It's kind of cool from 2003. That doesn't really matter. E-girl. This is why I like I2Ps, because it's a very free, interesting way for you to discover like the internet. But there's a lot of like dead sites too, because I think people don't necessarily understand I2P, which is kind of a disappointing. And then, are you using onion spray for your blog? No, what's onion spray? I'm not entirely sure what I actually don't know what that is. I just set it up in a manner where they don't share the same domain. Let me look. I've never hosted anything on Tor besides the onion spray. Oh, interesting. yellow emoji. Yeah, hell yeah. Onion Spray is a tool to set up onion services for existing public websites working as an HTTP. Oh, wow! Did not know about this. No, I'm hosting this like locally, and just export because you don't have to open any ports with Tor. It's just easier. I did not know about this. This looks based. Onion Spray is a tool for the setting up onion services for existing public websites working as an HTTPS rewriting proxy. Onion Spray is a fork of the Alec Muffet's EOTK with many enhancements, but retaining compatibility and relying on CTOR until the alternative Atari is available based. Onion Spray works as a proxy between the Onion service connection and the website, bringing many benefits. Onion Spray is self-contained software, everything to configure an Onion site. There's no need to adapt existing setups. Onion Spray can be installed in a separate environment, and no changes are usually needed for the website. The result is essentially an Onion service in the middle of the proxy. You should set up only for your own sites, and or for sites which do not require login credentials of any kind. Set up Onion services for existing public websites that are already accessible through the internet, providing an additional protocol layer for accessing them. Protect the user location information to be provided by default, but relying on the Onion service technology. Non-use cases is not to set up a pure Onion service website, i.e. it's not meant to set up a website that is only available through the Tor network. Protecting website's identity or location, given that Onion Spray is rewriting a proxy. Read this for a note for details. So the installation is a non-intrusive, non-disruptive. There's no need to change existing website setups. The Onion service infrastructure can be provisioned in a separate system apart from where it is located. It can run anywhere, in a laptop, in a single-board computer, and a service as a standalone program or as a container. Support for load balancing setups, acting as the Onion service CDN, the content delivery network based. No need for additional administrative purposes. Onion can be installed. I have not been aware of this. This is very kind of cool. Wow. So I could set this up theoretically in a Pi. When was it last updated? Oh, it's still actively maintained. Please refer to the documentation for access. Visit Unspray website. Huh. So it's kind of like it just grabs, I'm assuming, the content and mirrors it. Having access to a Unix-like system such as Debian. Build the necessary executables. Okay. If Onion Spray cannot find an appropriate build script, you may find it manually by looking for the opt folder. Please open a ticket. Interesting. Create your first Onion proxy. Project domain. Example: Onion Spray. Create my project domain. Delete web from the URL to see the web page. The web page. Oh. Onion Spray from the URL to see other web pages. Oh, like this? Note that the vanity address prefix should not be too big, otherwise it will take a long time to generate data. As a rule, let it be no longer than 6 chars and up to 7 chars if you really know what you're doing. Create my project. The vanity prefix parameter is entirely optional. You can use something like this to randomly generate. Okay. Generate startup scripts. Start your server. Then do. Okay. Optionally, get a CA validated HTTP server. Onion Spray will already generate self-signed HTTPS certificates for each proxy website valid for 365 days by default, which may work for testing purposes and sometimes the event of a production environment. In order to get a server to validate server to validate, check this guide. They have a ton of other projects like Onion Groove, Onion Probe, Onion Launchpad. And the last one's kind of lame. Oh, did not know that. Oh, applications. Oh. Also see apps messaging. Oh, okay. Byra, yeah. Quitch is pretty base. Onion Share, used it, quiet. No servers. Huh. Onion Share is kind of... I remember coming across this. And it looked kind of glowy to me. It's slackier than Signal. Quiet is the most Slack or Discord... is more like Slack or Discord than Signal. Create your own private space and invite people to join it, which channels different kinds of conversations. Nice. Control your own data, no servers required. Quiet gives you peer-to-peer network that just works, so you can be independent and private without running your own server. Nice. Privacy built Tor in. Huh. I do remember coming across this. I would like to move away from Discord. Not really move away from Discord because so many people use it, but push people to better options. Quiet sucks. They store everything in plain text, and if I send you a file automatically downloaded, don't use it yet. Good UI though. Oh wow. You automatically. Wow, that's crazy. That's not good. There's another one called Sneak Keat. No, Keep Keat. Keat's kind of cool. Well, that's I know about this. I remember Ricochet. Rico cheat. It's kind of cool. There are no servers to trust, monitor, or hack. No. This is, yeah, I remember this. I wish Quitch. I came across Quitch a very long time ago. If I send a file to the group, you automatically download it. Oh. I remember I came across Quitch, and I had so much hopes for this project. I loved it. I donated it to them. I thought they were great. The problem is they didn't get enough funding recently. Ricochet. Ricochet. Oh, I guess I can't read. Reading's not the strong suit. Quitch, huge. I really wish they got more, because you can run your own relay. You don't have to use theirs. Super based. You can run your own server. Quitch. It's funny I can't pronounce Ricochet, but I can pronounce Quitch. Like I know what this. I know these words. I forget what it. It's a Welsh word. Yeah, this is such a sick project. Hopefully it gets better and more recognition, but it forces everything. I believe it enforces everything through Tor, which is always the based option to do. Briar's awesome, but it's got some issues. Oh, Onion Balance. Onion Balance is the best way to load balance Onion services across multiple backends. It's kind of cool. I'm assuming it's Onion Mine. Onion Mine is an Onion service keys and certificate generator to make vanity addresses for TLS HTTPS certificates management. It's kind of cool. Assume that there's probably a reason for it. Web. Onion Groove. I think this is the one. No. I want to see the groove. Onion Groove deployment tool for the Onion Web. Onion Groove is a plan to be high availability based Onion service deployment and monitoring system, giving Groove to the Onion Balance and Vanguard's add-on to many more features. Onion Groove acts as a proxy, load balancer, and even a content delivery network using the Tor network. That'd be awesome. We can get away from fucking Cloudflare finally. Create Onion service for existing websites. Setting up pure Onion site. IDs available for site the Tor network. Onion Groove aims to support both Onion service implementations of the old CTOR and Atari. I wonder if Atari is even... Is it even a thing anymore? I mean, not a thing, but like, is it still being developed? It is. Yes, days ago. I wonder if it's in production now. Are you increasing shareholder value for BlackRock and Palantir? Absolutely. We need to remember to increase the shareholder value for our Lord and Savior, BlackRock and Palantir. But when I use Tor, I decrease their shareholder value and I hurt them. So I'm actually hurting them. This is very cool. A content delivery network via Tor and having load balancing like high availability would be super awesome, especially when you're running a website. As me, as a person who runs a high availability cluster inside my house for no absolutely reason, it's always good to have redundancy, especially with like sites constantly getting DDoSed. I hate a lot of things. Oh shit! Legendary Sam Bennett in the chat. Yes, Sam is a knowledge bringer, and that's what's important. We like the knowledge bringing of the people to it, which is always based, especially Tor is based. The thing is, I hate a lot of things that Tor does in terms of the way they structure their entire business model and their company. At the end of the day, they have a lot of control, and that is like kind of like my main problem. Even though they're really benefit on like open source projects and people obviously putting a lot of time and effort into it, my biggest problem is the Tor Foundation in general, just like anything else, they do kind of rely on not really the funding part. They kind of rely on a hierarchy system, and that can be a problem in the long run. This is why I wish I2P would get more recognition, because I2P works whereas everyone is kind of the node operator and everyone is the router. Tor, in a sense, is somewhat less decentralized. I first caught him with his DEF CON talk, which was amazing. As a former Darknet Marketplace user, I appreciate the work he does. Oh, yeah, of course. I believe it was a DEF CON talk that I came across. Yeah, I think it was a DEF CON. I'm 99% sure. No, it was, and it was a massive pain in the... Yeah, it still kind of is. Or was it? No. I think it was with Jack Reciter. I think it was either a DEF CON talk or it was Jack Reciter. I can't remember. Was it DEF CON 30? Or was it Jack? I think it was Jack Reciter. Darknet Diaries. I2P I like better than Tor. You're speaking of Tor, my dude. Are you familiar with the Comrade Rakahas case? No, I am not. I like I2P's structured model on how they approach the layered network. The problem with I2P is it's not really... I2P isn't for searching the net. It's more of like a collection of EAP sites. EAP sites are how you kind of visit it. I like Tor's. I like Tor for availability to go on the ClearNet. Yes and no. I2P can be more secure and safer because everyone acts as a node operator. So there isn't tons of federal agents running I2P nodes because everyone is I'm using the word node wrong. It's technically router. Everyone is a router. Now, the problem is Tor has a scaling issue. And the scaling issue is it needs operators. People that operate guards and relays. This is kind of like a problem in a hindsight view. You need more help. He's currently locked the fuck up, which the feds are home for running. Oh! Keeps people off the network that don't need to be on it. So, but in a sense, Tor's biggest problem is when you have a thing where anyone could run a node. That's cool, great. But the issue is people are obviously doing this for free. Federal law enforcement has unlimited money and time, so they can run as many nodes as they want. Legally, there's nothing against it. Agreed. I like T2 better. I personally think garlic versus onion routing. Yes, the routing scheme is much better. So, like, on a fundamental level, Tor's onion routing is good because I can go to regular sites, so I can buy my banana bread without having to worry about who's going to track it. I think it has its use case, but from an efficiency standpoint, tons of law enforcement agencies, as they do, they will go out of their way to run tons, if not millions. Big fan of onion and garlic in soup. Most people don't want to mess with it. This is my criticism of I2P. I2P made a browser bundle for Windows, which is they made it easier to run on Windows than they did with Linux. Now, I2P Plus is the easiest way to run it. You just have to go into Firefox, unfortunately, because its compatibility is just a little bit better, and you go in there and then you do it. Now, there is some limitations and privacy risk with it. Anyone can run any type of browser they want with I2P. That could be considered a way to fingerprint you, and anyone, in a sense, can run different types of configuration files, which could be also a problem. Banana bread, for the win. True, banana bread is based. So let me look up this person. Rock and Haas. This is kind of lame. This is the scary part of running. Oh, maybe there's a easier. Is there like a wiki? Can I get a Wikipedia? Banana bread is based. Back in 2014, Rock and Haas, if I'm saying his name right, worked for a travel booking company. He was fired, and he used a stale VPN access connection. He was a tour operator. Oh, okay. Like he ran an exit relay. That's his wife's site. Oh, okay. He used a stale VPN access to connect back to the company's infrastructure, and then he detached a SCSI loom from the server cluster, crashing it. The company, not knowing he was involved, retained him to help him diagnose and fix the problem. Mentello has a video on him too. Oh, there's YouTube footage. During the investigation, the company figured out that he caused the crash and terminated him again. He's then somehow gained access to the disaster recovery facility and physically fucked up a bunch of servers. They went down in a total about 30 days and incurred $500K loss. He pled the case out, so I guess claims if all this is true, that's a very serious CFFA charge. Blah blah blah. Mental Law video wasn't so great, but he did cover it briefly. BRB. Yeah, Mental Law is a little. He's good. I don't watch his content too much anymore. I have my reasons, but. Interesting. I know that federal law enforcement will put a bunch of FUD. I wouldn't say FUD. They put a bunch of pork fat, obviously, into cases when they want to slam you, because obviously the more charges they can rack up, the harder it is to beat, and then it becomes like, oh, how would you like to plead to XYZ? I was talking to his wife. We were planning to do a video with an interview. He's having a very rough time in the feds right now. I believe that. Yeah. I believe he's probably not having a good time. Look, if he committed a obvious crime, whatever. Be fair. If he commit, I don't know anything, so I can't speak on it. But if he committed just a silly running a tour operator and they were looking for some reason to fucking get rid of him, that's fucking retarded. I've known Age Zero since 2014. It is sad to see her and Mans go through this shit. Yeah. Obviously, I run a guard relay. I would never run. Ooh, okay, docket justice. I would never run an exit relay if he was doing it as an operator, as an exit relay. That's a very dangerous thing to do. Let's go all the way back. When did they first fight? I'm not good at reading filings. Criminal case doc to notice file appeal court. Appearance. Blah blah blah. Maybe isn't there a way you can do 100%? It's a bullshit case. It probably is. I'm not disagreeing. What's up, Billy? It's been a while. I mean, it's when you actually. I went and listened to some actual deep things about Samurai Wallet, and it's completely bullshit. They got pretty much charged for operating a business without a license and some other bullshit. Though we have multi-billion-dollar corporations that avoid taxes all the time, break the laws, and nothing happens to them. But two guys that just want you to have, which I think still Bitcoin is complete dog shit. But it's still the fact that they were doing a mixing service is retarded. Just go back to Google his. Dude, just go back to his Google results. I think there was the first result with his name. Oh, okay. Oh no. I know. I was looking. I wanted to see like where this case started. Oh, that's his website. You need to see the feds and how they treated the house. I toking in Conrad's honor. I looked up Conrad. Okay. Maybe this will be fine. Yeah, the first site you found it has a ton of stuff, including docs. Okay. Urgent notice and videos. Interesting. Why can't I have a... No timeline? No beginning? Okay. 2026. Oh. Cease and desist immediately. Notice 2025. My husband Conrad Recknos just got a letter on his mother to his mother, Texas. Finally, he wants to make it clear. Conrad Recknos is not suicidal. He is dying from medical. This happens quite a lot, where people will not get medical care, which is, in my opinion, is super fucked up and very unfortunate. December of 22, Detroit. Conrad Lambert filed her response to my husband's appeal. 2020 December. When did they officially charge him? Oh, is this it? I wish the timeline was reversed. The Foundation of Injustice. Oh, okay. The ordeal in the Eastern District of Michigan in the second chapter in a multi-year saga that began in Texas. Early 2019, Conrad Recknos, a supporter of free speech and online privacy, refused to help federal agents decrypt traffic on Tor exit nodes. He operated for journalists and activists months later. On a pretextual non-violent violent computer crime (CFFA) charge, he was arrested. That's fucking crazy. His 3-year pretrial detention was triggered by a single provably false claim. The official court transcript from February of 2020 hearing proved an irrefutable record that Texas probation officer Tiffany Routh testified under oath that Conrad had installed a Linux operating system that knocked out their monitoring software. That's crazy. The software was, in reality, a pre-approved SPICE graphics driver for his PhD program. Not an operating system. It did not, and nor could not disable the monitoring software. Routh used this false claim to baselessly suggest that Conrad might be accessing dark websites and inflammatory accusations that she was forced to admit under oath and had no evidence to support. That's fucking crazy. So the false testimony was fueled by a malicious campaign. We have documented proof that Conrad's then wife, Ashley Luster, was actively working to keep him incarcerated for her own financial gain. While he was imprisoned, she illegally made herself the representation payee for Social Security disability benefits. That's fucking insane. Directing the funds to her own account after the divorce proceeding had begun. Financial records further document now that she systematically drained his bank accounts, maxing out his credit cards, and spent his monthly pension and disability payments. In a letter to her parents, Lester confided, I have some tricks up my sleeve to keep him there. That's fucking crazy. That's not even... How can you say something like that, and it's documented, and it's you... like, how could you be like, that's not malicious intent? That's insane. That's actually insane. Documented collusion. Emails revealed Lester colluding with Conrad's old attorney, Walter Reeves, to secretly prolong his detention. Based on the foundation of false testimonies and conspiracies, Conrad was held for 3 years in horrific county jail conditions. Yeah, county jail is pretty fucking rough, I heard. Like, county, I know some people say county jail is worse than prison, but I don't know if that's probably not true. That's probably just a bunch of cope. But the county jails around me are not good, I'll tell you that. Where he was regularly beaten by guards and detained his life-sustaining seizure medication. The grueling order ended where he felt forced to accept concede guilty plea. Yeah, there is a ton of evidence on the when you look at a lot of these what do you call them, like these T channels where they talk about like missing people and crimes, where law enforcement fucks up, depends on the spot. That's probably true. There's probably like really bad prisons out there where you're like county jail is going to be better, but the real issue is like the way that federal prison systems work. They're just really not good in general. The funny thing is, I do remember I've only been to jail, not prison, thankfully for only a few days. Yeah, it's probably still ass. The crazy thing is you have a system that it intentionally mistreats people and nothing happens, and you get no form of, you have kind of like no reason to want to go back into society after it, besides for the fact that you get it's kind of like a weird catch-22 where you have a system that doesn't treat you well anymore. It's harder to get education inside prison. I don't think it's really even possible at this point. And obviously, depending on the penitentiary, you get sentenced to these places, and then you're expected to go back out in society and be productive when you are pretty much stripped still of your rights, and it becomes very difficult for you to find employment, etc., etc. Which is crazy. Why I don't understand why we haven't done any form of reform, but it's probably just a money pit, etc., etc. Even among the jails, distinctions exist: big city versus small towns, North state versus southern states, Republican versus Democrat state. Yeah, probably. It's probably like how funding is done and how they view it. I have a lot of negative outlooks of like how. But I do watch a lot of these channels where a lot of negligence happens from the cops and people still don't like blame them. A lot of negligence happens from detectives. There is a fiscal motive, not in educated people, to encourage them to come back. It's job security for everyone working at them. Yeah, that's true. Because I remember, if I remember correctly, there was a period of time where it was like very normal to like get a degree, you serve your time, you could leave with a degree and go back into society and become a reformed model citizen. That's it. I mean, that's how, where's the negative? Who cares that, if, not that I'm a fan of paying taxes for a lot of things, but who cares if my taxes go to somebody that becomes a better person that contributes to society? It's not meant to make people better. Anyone who does better, it's because it's a systematic problem. I agree on that. I mean, I'm having too many good ideas right now. It's kind of like lunacy. But when you look at like other like G1 countries where like they have like still crime rates that do it, yes, that all died under like no perks for prisoners laws. Oh, that's a thing. What is this? Hold on, we'll go back to that. No perks for prisoners. Wow, that's insane. That's crazy. I mean, that's from 2009? That's insane. Wait, they don't get Social Security benefits? Actually, if you pay for an MA degree, he is 40% likely to come back to prison, which could cost you $80K a year anyways. Yeah, so wouldn't it be better for them to be less likely to come back to, go back to prison and be a repeat offender? And then, yeah, I assume that, like, when you get educated and you get actually stable income, etc., that it pulls you out. So, no Social Security benefits for prisoner X in 2009 amends Title II, Old Age, Survivors, and Disability Insurance, Supplement Income, SSI Act, prohibit the retroactive payments to individuals during the periods of which such individuals are in prison. fugitive felons, or probation on parole violations. That's fucking crazy. So you can pay into Social Security your entire time and it can get taken away? If you are a fugitive felon or on probation or on parole, wow, that's kind of insane. President signs HR for no security benefits. Wow. On December 10th, President Obama, No Security Benefits for Prisoners Act, which became public law 111115. The bill prohibits the payments of any retroactive Title II and Title XV benefits to individuals where they're in prison or in violation of conditions of their probation or fleeing or avoiding prosecution for a felony and crime punished by a sentence more than 1 year. Under the bill, SSA would not pay the retroactive benefits until the beneficiary is no longer a prisoner, probation, or on parole. No, it's better for them to go back to everyone it's better for them to go back for everyone that's a part of the system. If you're a taxpayer, it's not, or an inmate. Oh. No frills, prison laws. Oh, no frills, prison laws? Oh, it's better for them to go back for everyone that's part of the system. If you're a taxpayer, it's not, or an inmate. Yeah, so it's better, obviously, for the system. If I'm not mistaken, there's a lot of private prisons where like certain politicians even have like money in it, and they do like manufacturing. No frills prison. Ooh. That's still, the Social Security is fucking crazy still. 95. Thanks, Obama. I'm just kidding. The No Frills Act is the name of several failed House resolution proposals that never became law in the United States. The earliest version of the bill was introduced in 1995 by Congressman Dick Zimmerman, banning from federal prison in-cell cable television, rated movies, instructed on training manuals, acts, weightlifting, equipment cell, and coffee pots, and heating elements, electronic musical instruments. Nearly identical bills. I mean, do you think that there is a, band? I wonder if there is actually a benefit to slowly giving these things back to like inmates before they get released, where they get like, hey, here's cable television, here's this, here's, weight training, here's coffee, here's element. Like, I wonder if that's like, if it's slowly given back to you after good behavior, et cetera, that it would be beneficial and maybe push them into back becoming a model citizen. Yeah. The bill died in committee 95, 97. Okay. Despite the fact that the bill never became law, it has been selectively adopted by a certain federal corporation. For example, inmate orientation brochure for MDC Berkeley informs inmates that the facility do not allow weightlifting and other amenities, and specifically, you can't even have weights. Here are some 2K instances. K2 instance. That's crazy. You can't have weights. That's insane. And specifically, enormously attributing facilities rules requirements of the Zimmerman Amendment. Meanwhile, the inmate orientation brochure FC Inglewood indicates that weightlifting and other facilities, recreational amenities are available throughout the most walking hours of each day. Yeah, wow, that is the Contract with America crime bill. The bill was amended to pass in the House of Representatives, but on reaching the Senate, the bill was read twice and then referred as the... Mom had stories of kind of things she could pay through a catalog during her stint. RIP. Wow. That's... yeah. Like, I get, like, people... people make mistakes, man, but... that's crazy. Bill died in committee 2003. Congressional session. Anything to keep people in prison. It's kind of crazy that she had a cassette tape. You can do that that package stuff with state prisons, not feds anymore. Oh. Federal No Frills Prison Act prohibits the use of federal funds to provide the following amenities: personal comforts, federal prison system, in-cell television viewing of a motion picture rated R which that's weird. I murdered someone, but I can't see the shining guys. Sorry. Instructions or training equipment for specific fighting acts, bodybuilding, weightlifting, an in-cell coffee pot, hot plate, or heating element, and an electric or electronic musical instrument, which is crazy. Look up expired cow hearts. Federal prisons. That is. I mean, to be completely honest, I probably would not make it in federal prison. I can't fight. So anyone who's spent time there, much respect. Obviously, not everyone that's in prison is a bad person or is a terrible person. You know what I mean? But I am not. A Fed person ignores. USDA. That's crazy. That's nasty. And I would not trust a lot of things made in America when it comes to food. The U.S. Bureau of Prison lacks policies to safeguard against serving potentially contaminated food to its inmates, a problem that led to buy sustained products, including whole cow hearts, disgusting by the way, disguised as brown beef. I would not make it. Yeah, this is an all-female place in the outlook of Richmond, Virginia. 97, 2004. I remember waking up early to get driven 2 hours plus to get a full body search at the age of 10 just to see your mom. Damn, that's... Oh, I know some people in prison that did some things, and I'm like, that does not look fun. Look up Rape Club CA Federal Prisons. It's a messed up story. I'm past the 10-minute mark, so I'm good. The BOPs should even develop quality assurance plan to mitigate the risk. One case in 2018 involved a food vendor was accused of selling altered species that were diluted under uncleared filtering ingredients developed. The bad thing too is a lot of these fucking contracts are given to like anyone, and these fucking this is like something that gets me irritated about the federal government, just the government in general, is they'll have a person that does something bad and they'll still rehire the fucking person. It's crazy. It's clown town. They're like, oh, you fucked up? Let's rehire you. I'm past the 10-minute mark, so it's okay. I won't get a. This is copyright straight. CA Federal. The thing is, I really like law. It's such an interesting. Boxes of food that you see that come in for prisoners say not for human consumption. That's disgusting. So it's like Taco Bell, but worse. In a staggering settlement, federal government will pay $116 million to more than 100 women who said they were sexually abused by employees at a now shut down federal prison in Dublin, California, that was dubbed Rape Club. That's fucked up. The settlement marks the largest amount ever paid by federal government for misconduct in federal prisons. The women will receive an average of about $1 million each to settle litigations against the Bureau of Prisoners over the mistreatment of federal correctional institution at East Bay Community. All dudes like Edward Snowden and Andrew Bustami psyops. I think Edward Snowden. The fact that I have a lot of opinions about Edward Snowden. I don't think he's like the superhero that people make him out to be. I mean, he's a federal agent. He worked for the federal agent. I don't know. And the fact that he's been in Russia for so long, great F me. The warden who was in charge of the prison got a bid, and then after a ton of the other guards, including the top LTs, got indicted. So, what do you mean he got a... Oh, he got like a... I don't know what a bid means. Like he got like paid and like was allowed to leave, or he got charged. The developments of the last twist in a year-long scandals around the facility since the FBI investigation was launched. The feds take out take out the warden, put in another one, and then the first thing the warden does is send out a memo saying, "Don't talk to the press." Oh, yikes! And then he gets a job at another prison, right? Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure Snowden is wired up and babied up. Yeah. Like, cool that he told everyone the NSA was spying on us, but I mean, he hasn't been pardoned yet, which is kind of crazy. And he kind of shielded for Zcash and backed it versus Monero, which Monero is obviously the private by default and Zcash isn't. I mean, I think this is like my only tinfoil hat with I literally have no explanation. I don't think people should believe me. I don't think people should even relatively entertain the idea. I think Zcash is a federal honeypot, 100%. I think it was, people complained and it leaked despite the threats, and the warden got a promotion to run regional. Wow. Martin Shirley also got babied now too by this shit. Is crazy. Martin Shirley, I don't know who that is. Wow, that is fucking crazy. That's not surprising though. I see shit like this happen all the time. Yeah, a bit in prison terms, the warden would make women undress. Oh, wow, that's fucked. What a loser. The development of the last 2 years long scandal. 8 FCI Dublin employees have been charged with sexually abusing inmates. Bit equals prison sentence. Oh. Well, you should get a oh. The feds take out the warden, put in another one, and the first thing the warden does is send out a memo saying don't talk to the press. Yep. People complain, it leaked. The warden got a promotion to run regional. Oh, wow. Oh. The warden who's in charge of the prison got a bid. Wow, that's yikes, that's really gross. The closure became a permanent last month. Okay. The Bureau of Prisons in April temporarily closed the prison because it was so plagued with bisexual abuse that it became known as the Rape Club. That's insane. The closure that became permanent last month. It sends a message that sexual abuse of incarcerated individuals will not be tolerated in society, said Jessica Pride, San Diego-based attorney for many of these women. There are now $160 million worth of reasons for the Bureau of Prisons to care about these behind the bars. I don't think money. They also would let the cameras get destroyed and not fix them, so there's no evidence of the abuse. That's fucked up. I mean, even the money wouldn't, like, I know the money seems cool and all, but I don't think that would ever, like, what would money even really fix that at that point in your head if you got sexually abused by people that are supposed to, protect and serve you? I mean, that'd be like Batman raping you and, like, people being like, well, he paid you $160 million and he's in prison now. Like, you still raped me. I mean, and I don't give a shit, you're Batman. Still suck. I mean, with about 30 officers involved in the incident, it went on for years. Pride said the settlement probably covers only about half the potential cases. Many new claims are still being processed. Many women still fear coming forward because they saw other women sent to the SHU. Don't worry, the prison is open now that all the press has died down. That's the system. It's hard to describe how bad these places are. Yeah, it's probably really. I can't really say the story because it'd be really revealing. But I had a friend in prison. And they told me a very fucked up story about the SHU, about solitary confinement. I think solitary confinement should be completely and utterly eradicated. I don't think it should exist. I have my opinions on capital punishment. I'm somewhat relatively against it in most cases, if not all, because of how fucked up the system is. There's a really good video that Vice did. Video back when Vice was actually back when Vice was good. 404 is good, but back when Vice was good, they did a video on a guy that was trying to get the death sentence because he committed a murder back in the 90s, and then quite later was like, "Hey, I deserve to be executed. This is my problem." And it took so long for him to get executed that he just did it himself. And they were also been caught using tainted lethal injection, where people feel the pain before they get, executed, which constitutionally that is not right. And it's kind of a fucked up I would not trust the state to do any form of execution, to be completely honest. I know some people have like a negative approach, opinion, like oh, it's cheaper just to do execution. When in fact, when you look at the numbers, I believe execution is actually the most expensive route that we have because it takes such a long time. Evidence could be obviously, say the evidence is wrong, you can't undo it. If you want to read a good book about the feds that's realish, go to the Hot House Life Inside Lensworth Prison. Good book. If you could message that to me, because I'll forget. That'd be great. I would like to. I do like reading books, but I can't remember the prisoner's name. Best book feds I've ever read. I read it in the feds. Yeah, and that's the thing is like just because you make mistakes once doesn't mean you can't relearn. But the thing is when the state executes you, you fundamentally don't have a way to redo. Like you don't have a way to redemption yourself and undo good. Like do good on something that you did bad. And I think everyone deserves a second chance, minus a select amount of people. I think obviously unanimously most people agree that pedophiles should be executed. They are not good people. There's nothing really good about them. That's not a mistake. And I think that's pretty much where I think most of society draws the line. But in reality, it's not necessarily a good thing. It's kind of sad too because you think that like in 2026 we would have a moral compass on stuff like that. But most of the time, I think that in hindsight, people deserve a second chance to at life. You know, but what's the point of when you're in a system that banks on you not being productive in a sense. There's too much money in the prison system to probably let it go. Which is, I mean, look at this. Like you said, this prison's up and running. They paid $116 million. That's fucking crazy amount of money. That's a lot of money. And these people probably got light sentencing and moved on. There's actually an auditor, a First Amendment auditor I watch. He talks about this happens all the time. Bad cop recidivism rate for sex offenders is like 70%. There is no coming back from that. I don't know what's, like were they reoffend? Oh, like were they, yeah, exactly. Like I said, if it would it be a perfect world and great if people didn't, they also paid tax. They also paid tax dollars. Yeah. Yeah, it's it is a complicated. Like I said, I'm like 90 point receiving reoffending chance. I believe so. I think there's something just not right with you. I don't think anything can really fix that, and it sucks. You know, it's not. I'm not really. I don't shed tears for it. I more or less think of the victim aspect, which is not fair. So it's there. If it's confirmed and there's a mounting of evidence confirmed, execution wouldn't really I wouldn't lose sleep over it. But the problem is because the system is so fucked in, I would only worry about people falsely accusing. Accusations would be my first concern. There was someone that was executed, I think. It took like 20 plus years to execute them, and they believe that there is sufficient evidence he did not do the crime, and it doesn't matter. He's already dead, unfortunately. And even I think the victim's family was like, "You don't need to do this," kind of thing. It's kind of fucking insane. That's my general problem. Is a lot of this stuff is generally emotionally driven, unfortunately, and I believe there's no real answer to it. I mean, like you said, $116 million settlement in the prison still exists. Probably still doesn't really change anything. It's quite sad too, because then and the sad thing is like who's gonna believe if you're a felon, if you're in prison and you're a felon, who the fuck's gonna believe you when you're like I'm being sexually assaulted? That's what I think of. That's how I think of it. Or like if you're in prison, you're being mistreated. How you gonna prove it? What are you gonna do? Tell the warden? Like, you know what I mean? You're kind of like in a personal circular version of hell if you look at it like that. I could give like but like I knew someone who went to the SHU, and he said it was, well, solitary confinement, and he said it was like absolutely hell. I mean, he saw someone not have a good time in there, and it's very fucked up. I've heard nothing good about people that go to solitary confinement, which is insane. Everyone should read Darvo on Wikipedia. Almost any sex offender I've ever seen fails under it, but knowing about it lets you see it all. Deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. Should read Darvo on Wikipedia. Almost any sex offender I've ever seen falls under it, but knowing about it lets you see all the BS. Yeah, I don't think there's really a way to reform. Welcome back. Darvo. Deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. The perpetrator denies the harm or the abuse ever took place. That's true. When confronted with evidence, the perpetrator attacks the person they had harmed or are still harming. Yeah. Seen that before. Finally, the perpetrator claims that they were actually the victim in a situation, reversing the position of the victim offender, and it involves not just playing the victim, but also victim blaming. Wow. Wow, very progressive of Sam Ben. Victim blaming. No, there is no reform. Yeah, I don't think there is a reform of a person of like that. Psychological projection. I do like the idea of psychology. Because of Darvo's prevalence in cases of sexual harassment and violence, one study examined how someone's belief in rape myths intersected with the likelihood of using Darvo. Our prejudices stereotype that false beliefs about sexual assaults, rapists, and rape victims, they often serve to excuse sexual aggression, create hostility towards victims. Yeah, it's. I think there's actually. I believe I remember reading about the amount of men that do get sexually assaulted that they also don't get taken seriously on a lot of legal forms, like legal levels, and it is kind of a problem. A lot of I mean, this is going to sound performative, progressive male ideology, but there's a lot of belief. I hear people say that men can't be raped, and I think that's insane. That's not good for society. That's not healthy. Men can't be sexually assaulted. I think that's insane. But I also think that there is a problem, in a sense, for like that men think that also this can't happen either. I don't like the imbalance of younger boys hooking up with like older women in a weird way. I think that that's always not a good thing. In every case, there's no female predators exist, and that's my problem. When I see these losers get low prison sentences, I get very irate, very angry, very mad, however you want to call it, whatever internet slang you want to use, because I think that it also what's the word I'm looking for? I think it embraces bad behavior, and that there is no possibility that this should be looked as bad. There's actually a good George Lopez episode where Max, if you guys are fans of George Lopez, Max, they find out Max is at a sex offender's house, and they freak out, and they're like, wait, this is actually stupid, where people thought this was cool. It's a very based episode, very progressive. What the fuck are I walking to? What up, Wyclef? How you doing, buddy? And I actually, why are we using Kali? Kali Linux is the most secure operating system. I switched up, man. It's a virtual machine. I actually, why no Unix? Because I can't run Unix on Virt Manager, and I can't install what do you call it? Oracle's VirtualBox. Or are we talking about other types of adversaries? Yeah, my ADHD kicks in. Unix based. The problem is I can't run virtual. What's the other one? Oracle's VirtualBox. I can't run it on Void Linux for some reason. There's something missing and because I run Musil. But there is something really cool. On a couple streams ago, I set up a virtual machine, and I got I ran KVM with Unix just fine. No, in Void Linux, I'm missing something. I'm missing something in Void Linux that prevented me from doing it, but I did this. I set up a virtual machine in a virtual machine to run it. So I set up, a couple streams ago, I set up Kick Secure. I went from Kick Secure to installing the VirtualBox software from Oracle, and I got it to work. And I was running Unix inside a virtual machine inside a virtual machine. Nested. No one on Gen 2 and Void both. No, on Gen 2 and Void both. There's a package I installed that's supposed to make it work. I just didn't reboot my system, but I never got it to work officially. It wouldn't run on Musil. Oh, okay, Muscle. Oh well, based for you. I'm glad it works on you. It works on my machine. Meme is still alive and well. Unix is based. VirtualBox doesn't have Musil support, I think. It's something that it doesn't work. I couldn't get it working on KVM. Might be a skills issue. But I also couldn't get VirtualBox to work on my system. But I installed a package that's supposed to make it work. I just have to restart it. It's something to do with nested virtual machine. I just haven't restarted my PC because I'm lazy. Though I will say, porting Unix to Fedora when true, running Unix inside. Actually, there's an entire wiki page on proposals on what to mitigate to. Interesting. Running VirtualBox. I think actually you can. You should just virtualize it within a virtual machine. That's the GigaChad way to do it. So I think it actually is supported. Oh damn. Void in Gen 2 is there, but the Gen 2 NE is pretty inaccurate. The Gen 2 one is pretty inaccurate. Oh, okay. Wow, interesting. So if I go to, oh damn it, Overtor, it's gonna take 30 hours. If I go to Firefox, the most secure browser in Kali Linux, which is also the most secure operating system, if you install Unix, hey, why is the chat dead? Because you came fucking 2 hours late, buddy. Unix. And you brought no banana bread. I think if you download it, can't you download it in stable Google account? I did get my Google account. I am brewing chamomile tea. It does not smell like tea nor taste like chamomile tea. You've been compromised. I did get a Google account working in an interesting way. I got it working in an interesting way. I got it to work with a virtual number. I got it to work without doing the extra steps. Stop using RAM and start using Alpine Linux. Actually, we use TinyCore in this house because TinyCore is based, and TinyCore is the smallest footprint you can actually meet. I'm actually rich in RAM. I have hundreds of gigs of RAM now. I am a bit of a entrepreneur. I thought Cubes was legit the best. Cubes is the best. I am memeing and I am rage baiting for the people that are watching. Anything I say online via X is a legit rage bait, haha funnies, and anything I say on live is also. Stop using NetBSD and start using OpenBSD. Billy actually uses not OpenBSD, he uses OpenBased. So all you have to do to install VirtualBox is if I have Debian. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Let's try it this way. I am Cubes is very good if used correctly. There is no wrong way to use Cubes. Oh, okay. Ooh, is that the CLI version? Oh, okay. Remember, guys, to copy your clipboard. Just make your own Linux distro. Dude, I'm kind of retarded, guys. Forgive me. For real. It's okay. Everyone's kind of retarded. That's the point. Don't copy commands. That's step one. Don't be like me. Ooh, wow. Wow, look at that. Wow, zlib. I need to learn to run a server. Running a server, anything's a server. You can run services on a desktop. You would just be wasting a lot of resources. Ubuntu server is fine. Alpine Linux is more based, more cool. If you learn Docker, Docker is even more based and more cool. But if you want to be super based and cool, you should. We need a good operating system for the Cube, though. Fedora is the best option on there. You could do it. I mean, they're called HVMs. But if you want to be super based, LXC containers are very cool, and you can run Docker containers in LXC containers, nested containerization. I use Gen 2 for my servers. Gen 2, so you just spend more time compiling than actually serving, unbased. You should use other servers to help your servers to compile. I use Gen 2. You should be using... you should use Brax.me as your servers. I would even go as far as the best. I liked Rocky Linux. I used when CentOS got sunsetted. I used Rocky Linux for a while. Gen 2 wouldn't be a problem with server hardware. How about one server that compiles bin pkg packages for the rest of the servers? I'm going to get a mini server rack and do some self-hosting one day, as you should. It is fun. Nice. Please upgrade your operating system. Oh, that's oopsies. Oh, I forgot to tack Y. Damn it! Remember, tack Y, guys. If you don't do tack Y, you waste tons of seconds of Linux time, and that wastes tons of hours of your time in your lifetime. Tack Y saves you tons of hours. Tons of hours save you more time to look at other Linux stuff. I can't de-GNU Gen 2 because of portage. Why not? I'm gonna make my own package manager at this point. Yeah, make it, but build it in Rust. The based apt is the worst. I'll tell you that apt is the worst. I'm a void enjoyer. I don't even. Just gonna put note of that. Postgres. Lib. Bashisms are bugs. We shouldn't need GNU in Gen 2. Is that true? What if you just run GNU Gen 2? Wouldn't that be the most efficient way to do it? This is what people think hackers look like. Is they see the the terminal like this and they're like, he's hacking, guys. This is what you show the hose on your first date, though. Well, I need to write code. Yeah, write code. And Vim works fine for me. Okay, Vim sucks. Ew, KDE. KDE is based. KDE is based. This is brought to you by. If you say GNOME is based, I'm staying out of this chat within a 10-foot pole. What about GNOME Wayland? Actually, OpenBox is my favorite. XFCE hate though. It looks like dog shit. We need to rewrite XFCE in Rust and make it look more based. Isn't XFCE written in C? KDE is made with Qt, which uses unnecessary RAM and time to compile. Just use the right flags, man. Yeah, it's written in C. We need to rewrite this in Rust. You guys are making a mistake. Sam's still here? Probably is. KDE is also made with Qt Ebgen, or that other Qt web thing, which is based on Chromium and takes even more time and more RAM to compile. Also, making it based on Chromium is a good thing. If you sing, but we need to rewrite it in Rust. XFCE though. And then I'll like it. Which might make it like more based in perspective. I don't think Qt is dependent on the base plasma. You guys should learn about Qt web engine dependencies in your spare time instead of having a wife. Now people just use Redux OS with Servo. It's not no C, not a single line of C. Oh, finally. I have ran Redux a couple times in a virtual machine. See how Holmes? I gotta go to bed. SA. You shouldn't talk like that on YouTube, man. ICE is gonna be at your door now. No warrant. Later, Bill. Yeah. C++. Rust can suck a fat one. Didn't Microsoft develop C++? Can I hate C++ for a reason? Can I just fabricate hate for C++? It's really just a skill issue. There's lots of things that I just don't fundamentally understand. No, okay, it was Bargin Strodo. God, I can't pronounce that name. Wow, he's still alive. Imagine being this guy's fucking kid. Like, yo, my dad invented C++. I can't pronounce that person's name, though. That's C#. Oh, okay. Same thing, right? Rewrite XFCC in V, not Rust. True! V, the based version, actually. I'm going on my V journey, guys. We're going to learn V. Can I learn V from scratch? Is it possible to learn V with no coding experience? And it's version 0.5. Oh, it's got println based. I understand that kind of. Now I be a honeypot on run 0 when. True. Actually, I have doas in my system now. I'm a doas user. Kitty Plasma took 8 hours to compile, and yet it's still less usable than DWM, which takes under 5 seconds to compile. What about OpenBox, though? You can hate that Microsoft used and uses C++ extensively in their OS. True. That should be enough to hate C++ and Microsoft at the same time. DWM really? Use DWL. What's DWL? Man, this shit's taking forever to update. Huh. Oh, it's DWM for Wayland? Oh, I think Billy said he tried it, but he said something, it did something gay to him or something. Interesting. DWO doesn't have the top bar by default and is unmaintained. I explained earlier in the chat, but you arrived 2 hours late. That's true. That's Wyclef's major issue is he came late. Okay, here is my argument. Don't forget to do jumping jacks, guys. Got to stay in shape. Stay lean when you're zoinked off the oinkies. Remember, don't sit for too long. DWM gets released every 1 year at this point, and barely gets any commits. WMEU exists, bar patch. Do you really have to patch WWL to get something that is in WW by default? Xorg is made by the CI to convince you not to use baseline. That's true. Xorg is made by the CI to convince you to not use Wayland. It's true. The only patch I need for DWM is adding the X keybind. The X screensaver keybind. Is that the one where it goes into the corner but doesn't hit it? I am convinced Xorg is a federal honeypot at this point now. For the amount of love that it gets. Oh man, 82%. Here's my counter. Okay, but here's my counter argument. Billy goes to get teased. Now he's arguing about window managers. Xorg is fucking terrible. It's a pretty good counter argument. X Libre has an official Gen 2 wiki page. X Libre isn't any better, but it has the word Libre in it. Yeah, you guys should. I'd say it's even worse. You guys should. You know how like they have those like open debates. You guys should debate about like see if if like an open debate platform will take you guys on to argue for your favorite window manager. that'd be pretty based and pretty funny. I'd watch. Sure. I'll try to patch DWL to get features that are in DWM by default and update you in the stream if the stream doesn't end in like 10 minutes. It won't end in 10 minutes because I want to see this now. Well, Billy will patch his favorite window manager live. I'd say Xorg is actually anti-suckless. It's extremely bloated. Billy, don't do it. He's rage baiting you. He's trying to make you become an Xorg maintainer. This is brought to you by Wayland. Wayland Gang. Why the fuck does WinWL roots have a X use flag? I don't know what WLR roots is. WL roots. I'm not exactly rage baiting. He's rage baiting you, Billy. Don't listen to him. Brought to you by Wayland Gang. Don't listen to him. Patch your system yourself. Dude, you can keep. Do it. You can do it. Okay, cool. I can run this now. To be 100% based. Keep the hardened use flag globally enabled to be 100% based. True. Even though you put the percent sign in the wrong percent. Counter argument is it isn't available in Wayland. Counter foot. True. Foot is a good counter argument. Damn it! Who needs LT for VirtualBox installer? Root check. Oh, a reboot. Damn it! Motherfucker. I should have named my user footjob12. Oh. Wait, where am I? The fuck? Oh, damn it. Oh. What the fuck? The fuck? What the hell is FTCFC? Deal depends on so much. Huh. Where the fuck did that script go? Did it go to desktop? Oh, there we go. The up command. Is this for fonts? Hell yeah. Okay. Aren't fonts proprietary though? Shouldn't you reject fonts? Anyways, please do not use Billy Bo Jackson's Ex Libre. Well, now that he's going to be the official maintainer, I will. Salasys also works on DWL. Oh. If you still plan on using X11, at least confine it with SE Linux. And what would I use instead of SXS root name for telling the time? SLS status? SLS status also works on DWL. Okay. God damn it. Available. Please upgrade your operating system, for otherwise the install can't proceed. Dang it! This happened last time. Attack Y. There we go. Take that, you fucking bitch. Oopsies. See, Tac Y saved me a fraction of a second, guys. I got a lot of my time back. Web. I wonder if not everybody just spells like shit to rage bait us, or his keyboard is held up by duct tape. The world will never know. CDO. You leave me and my lack of typing alone. Oh man, this bitch is gonna take a minute. I actually don't use a keyboard. I use just a mouse. Okay, there we go. Now we in business. Interesting. I'll have the most secure Kali Linux system. Please do not contain. Unless you understand everything. Agreed. Remember, guys, don't read. Just agreed. Can't read. Must agreed. No rage baiting, guys. Joy baiting now. Cough. Just remove your cough.h or something. No. Computers shut itself and had to reboot. Anyway, DWL doesn't compile with more errors than fingers on my hand. Just RM. What didn't you do that didn't fix shit? Wouldn't I do like sudo? Which patch did you apply? It's fine. Just remove config.def.h. Also, audio, for whatever reason, decided to not work. I did remember, actually, no, that was another thing. When I first used Wayland, speaking that, audio would not fucking work. It was a nightmare to get it working. I had a fucking stroke. Just remove, and make it again. Use make again. Yeah. And you will mysteriously find that it works. Billy, watch Billy do it and then it not work. Maybe you cursed him. Just start your audio server manually. He's practically making you live a terrible life by asking you to manually do something instead of having it start at boot. It's not that hard to type pipewire, man. Unless you're not a client, you'd probably write pipe e-wire. What do you mean? That's practically asking him to do manual labor. It's kind of fucked up of you, man. I used the 2-year-old bar patch. No errors now. I typed Gen 2 pipe wire launch, restarted like 3 times now, refreshed. Still doesn't want to work. See? Wyclep, you're practically making him enslaved into his PC. It's kind of fucked up. It's very messed up of you to make Billy go through that. You're practically saying that he needs to manually do things. Not cool. Unbased, actually. I guarantee that Wyclef is actually... He's probably using Xorg right now on Debian. Just bare, plain old Debian. You probably even use a sudo. Brave was the problem? That's fair. Brave is never the problem. Brave is based. Oh shit, my system froze. Uh-oh. Weird. Then it should work. Do you not want to compile Chromium or something? What do I use instead of doing it again? It has to compile under 5 seconds like Dumia does. It's Wayland. It literally has the same functionality as it. Wayland? Oh, I think my shit just fucking... I also didn't give this a lot of RAM. Oopsies. Okay, W menu compiles under 5 seconds. Now what do I use instead of that? Also compiles under 5 seconds. What is W menu? I'm unaware. Oh, something with Arch. A dynamic menu for Wayland, which reads a list of new line separations. Oh, okay. Interesting, didn't know that. It literally has a, not what I used to do instead of this. Okay. Oh, 5 seconds. So we'll look at Joplin. I would say Unix would be on this list. We can even look. Doesn't Unix have an EAP? Doesn't Unix have an I2P site? Nope. Does not. Not Bob. Maybe. A foot compiles more than 10 seconds, but I will accept the feat. That's an interesting way to put that. Free Software Foundation loves Unix. Oh, nice. They have dark mode button. Well, I guess we can just go more over this. Launching NTWNO, if you care. ST works under XWayland 2. Interesting. So we're going to look at Unix's privacy features versus Tails. Tails runs in RAM. It is obviously much better for privacy, but it's not persistent. That is, I mean, there is persistent storage, but that kind of defeats the purpose. Unix, unfortunately, is based on Debian. Why does Unix site look so outdated? That's a good question. So we'll first look at the frequent asked questions. How does Unix work? Next, like 15 minutes, we'll go over the advantages of it and essentially why it's important to think about your operating system versus getting what people relatively just suggest right off the bat. I mean, I think Cubes is relatively very easy to use, and I think that it's over proportionally blown that it's hard to use. You just can't game on it right now until, you know, for the now. Maybe in the foreseeable future, gaming will be kind of done, like possible in the future, possibly, hopefully. That'd be kind of based. See. All right, based. Okay. So being anonymous on the internet is extremely difficult. Unix is an operating system that utilizes top-level security research and best practices to help users stay anonymous on the internet. The users themselves, however, have to be vigilant to so, as Unix also provides thorough guides to and user documentation to help users prepare against online traps, scams, and tracking. Unless you're a specific type of person that likes traps. Tor is a free and open source software enabling anonymous communication on the internet. Tor runs a global decentralized network of thousands and thousands of servers called Tor relays. multi-server hop uses completely anonymous request of the website to also to the Tor network itself. It's like a tunnel, though, which the user sends data and requests the website after multiple hops between the Tor servers. This tunnel, Tor tunnel, release under the user data to the requested website, but with the user's IP completely anonymized. As a result, information transmitted this way is hard to trace. Why does Whonix use Tor? What are the advantages of Whonix? Using Whonix to go on the internet has several advantages over going unprotected with Windows, Mac OS, Linux, or other systems. Whonix is the most watertight privacy operating system in the world that runs like an app in your host operating system. Whonix realistically addresses common attack vectors, which cannot be prevented by using a plain operating system without protection. Data harvesting in DWL now had to bust out LibreWolf since whoever maintains Brave bin on Gen 2 decided not to compile Wayland support. Wow, unfortunate LibreWolf user. Abuse operating systems and browser vulnerabilities in order to unmask the users, track, and trace them. As an actively maintained research project, Whonix can protect the users and even address some theoretical attack vectors which are not yet known to abuse data harvesters. Whonix is the best solution to prevent IP leaks. When the user's IP address becomes known, Whonix provides a leak shield based on the rock-solid, decade-long tested, successful architecture. IP leak issues that previously affected other software that are not applicable to Whonix in a number of cases. Whonix track record against real cyber attacks. FYI, there are no Brave source packages on Gen 2. I didn't know that. I use Brave in an I use Brave in a super privileged Flatpak. Whonix is different from the Tor browser. Whonix is a complete operating system OS that can be installed on top of your existing OS and not just a browser. Whonix comes with a web browser, Office suite, and more pre-configured with security in mind. See also comparison of Whonix and Tor browser. Browsers are also huge, complex applications. Due to their complexity, they are vulnerable to IP leaks as well extensible through malicious software, short malware, and viruses. Without using Whonix, once a browser is compromised by malware, identified the user can be permanently unmasked. Tails is a live OS with optional persistence that can be installed on an external drive, such as a DVD or USB. Whonix can be installed inside your existing OS. The user can choose to run Whonix from an internal or external hard drive. Whonix has an optional live mode, but there is no Whonix live ISO at the time of writing. The situation is likely to change in the future. Whonix is different from VPN. We already know that. We kind of understand. Whonix is a VM. What is a virtual machine? We all know what that is. So Whonix kind of, in a sense, is a virtual machine. That is kind of a given. Whonix is a virtual machine, but it runs pretty much on top of your OS. And a word no, there are several reasons. It's impossible to verify a VPN provider is actually trustworthy and not logging data. Recent research reveals that around 1/3 of all popular VPNs are owned by Chinese companies, while others are based in countries like Pakistan with non-exempt or weak privacy laws. I will try to run Brave through Wayland, as you should. Isn't it dangerous to use a platform based on Tor? A number of myths and misconceptions, blah, blah, blah. frequent asked questions. Based on Kick Secure. Documentation, introduction. Maybe like so based on Debian, based on Tor, based on KVM, based on VirtualBox, based on cubes. So I guess like some features. Okay, the Tor browser. Fire is included in the inner browser, is actively maintained by working internal media, is based on Firefox. Okay. The anonymous file sharing system OnionShare. And PGP encryption, KeyPass, password manager, instruments like Team, Media Player VLC, the LXQT terminal, of course, clients for Monero, Tor network, Torification, everything Tor OS. It does also, I guess, reliable. Failed close mechanisms. The application's traffic is either sent over to Tor or completely blocked. Application unspecific is the application. This applies to all applications and even other operating systems connected to the Unix gateway. Most applications in Unix can be routed to the internet over Tor anonymity network instead of the ClearNet access. This process is called Torification or Torify. Not only pre-installed, but also custom user-installed applications can be Torified. There's no intentional user freedom restrictions, full IP DNS protocol leak protection, depending on what internet protocols the application requires to function. Most applications do not require any awareness of being run inside of Unix for functionality connectivity. This is called transparent proxying. It is difficult to know for which user applications use internet TCP, UDP, ICMP. If in doubt, please use search engines and see documentation first. Ask the developer of the application, try it out. Same as above. Okay. Can Torify the operating system. Tunnels. Plugins pseudo-anonymously anonymous internet browsing. Anonymous communications, hosting, hidden services, published. So this is why I like Cubes so much, because it has the Unix gateway option. And it does Tor enforcement. It's very cool and very based too. But all right, guys, I have given you 2 hours and 29 minutes of my day. It is EP time and look at funny memes time. Remember to always look at your funny memes, share them with your friends so that you can make someone on the internet mad. And thank you for everyone joining. I appreciate everyone that has stopped by and in entertained me and dropped words in the comments. I would appreciate if you dropped in the comment section what your favorite type of bird is. If you don't do that, you will have 1,000 years of bad luck. I appreciate everyone that has spent the day here, and to make sure that YouTube knows that I'm a real person, I enjoy all their policies, like and share the video. I will see you guys in the next video where I will go into a deeper discussion about getting a Google Play account quietly so that Google doesn't sit there and track you where you buy your banana bread on the internet. And everyone, I hope you have a wonderful night.